Well, good day, everybody, and welcome to the Gator Wesley Bio. Today on the show we have Carrie Flynn. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, no problem. So let's go ahead and have you start by telling us a little bit about yourself.
I was born in South Carolina, actually, and my brother and sister were too. And I lived there for a couple years, and then right before coming to preschool, my family moved to Louisiana. They lived there for preschool and kindergarten for me. And then right before I went into first grade until now, I've been living in Florida.
So being born in South Carolina must be very interesting, and from moving to Louisiana and then to Florida must be very interesting move for your parents and stuff like that. Can you explain a little bit of that interest of where they grew up and also your relationship with them moving and all that nature?
Oh yeah, of course. Well, actually, my mom was raised in Illinois, and my dad was raised in Virginia mostly. But my mom moved around several times when she was growing up. But then, since we've been living in South Carolina because of my dad's work, I do have certain memories of like going to the beach a lot because I was born in Hilton Head Island, which is like right on the southern tipmost whatever of South Carolina, right in the tip there. And so it's a pretty small island, but it's really nice. And I was born in the only hospital that's on the island. And it was really funny because I was the only baby that was in the hospital, but at the time, yeah. But and then we was in Louisiana. My family did live like on the side of Lake Pontchartrain, which is like the body of water between us and New Orleans, and so we would like plenty of times spend like a day trip over New Orleans, like just cross the bridge and like go over there, and we got involved in Mardi Gras and everything like that because that's what we grew up with, and so it's always a big holiday for my family, but so it's a lot of fun doing the parades and the floats and everything. So.
Oh, yeah, they do a big shindig down there, from what I hear.
Yeah. Apparently, they even take off for several days of like off from work and school around Mardi Gras because it's pretty serious. We didn't do anything that crazy, But anyway, but yeah, like, I mean, there was still like everybody could still have king cake and like celebrate with the parades and dressing up and like that kind of thing. So, and then we moved to Florida and got on the whole like Disney craze and everything when we first got here. All the theme parks and everything. And just have been living here ever since. And I mean, we've moved in a couple different houses since we've been living here, but they've all been the same general area of just north of Orlando. So
do you have any brothers or siblings?
Yes, I have one sister and one brother. My sister's oldest. She's 26, and then I have my brother who's 23, and then I'm 20, so I'm the youngest in the family.
The baby of the family.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And my sister, she went to UF2 for undergrad, and then she went to Duke for divinity school, and she's officially in the Navy right now because she's going to be a Navy chaplain. Right now, she's working as a chaplain at UNC Hospital, like in Chapel Hill, in North Carolina, and because the Navy wants you to have like 1 year of experience of actually being a chaplain, like out and about, before you actually get into like Navy stuff or whatever. So that's what she's doing, which is kind of nice because it's required, but she's getting paid. So
yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, that's good. And then my brother, he went to FSU. Yeah, so he went there for a year, and then decided to come back home and get his AA because he was still figuring out what he wanted to do. And now he's going to UCF and going to get his bachelor's, and then go from there. And then I'm here at UF, and so that's how it is.
Can you tell us a little bit about your early education? I know you moved in kindergarten and first grade, but since thereof, what kind of education have you received?
I went to preschool at like the Lutheran church that my family was active at in South Carolina. No, I guess Louisiana. I don't know, whatever. Anyway,
and those two places.
Yeah, I mean like it's all fuzzy, obviously, because I was young. But anyway, yeah, I was like, preschool was at a Lutheran church, and I remember having class there, and of course it was like really basic class or whatever, the good old days.
Kindergarten.
Yeah, and then kindergarten was at Lake Pontchartrain Elementary School in Louisiana, so I remember that, and I remember, it went all the way through at least 5th grade, if not more, and it was really great. I had a really great teacher for kindergarten, and I had a lot of fun. And I just assumed I'd be growing there like for years and years because like my brother and sister went to like a private school for when they went to middle school and high school a little bit when we were living in Louisiana, and so I just assumed I'd be like following behind them because being the youngest, I just kind of assumed I'd do whatever they were gonna do, you know. But in any case, we ended up moving, and then that kind of changed everything, and so we ended up going to public school. So it was just different, but that was okay because my parents looked it up and everything beforehand, and we went to a really good public school, so it worked out.
So you said that you originally settled down in Orlando. Was the majority of your childhood, or your growing up?
Hmm.
Can you explain a little bit about growing up in Orlando and your experiences in Orlando, other than Disney World?
Yeah.
Yeah.
um, I went to an elementary school, just first or fifth grade, like normal, and then went to which was Woodlands Elementary School, and then I went to Rock Lake Middle School for like sixth or eighth grade, and I was in band that whole time, and then I went to high school at Lake Mary High School for freshman year through senior year or whatever, and I stopped doing band after sophomore year of high school because I wanted to do other things, and because band took up a lot of time, but
It usually does.
yeah. But I really enjoyed it though, and I'm glad I did it. It was a good experience, and like I like marching band and everything. But it just was time for change, I guess. And so I did other things. Like I joined like astronomy club and like rainbow club, and I don't know, like just all other kinds of things instead for extracurricular activities. Um, and then I graduated in 2011, and now I'm here at UF. Having a great time, and
So you mentioned you played in the band. What instrument do you play?
I played clarinet. Yeah, I just played that for 5 years. Because I know that other people say that they like switched or something at some point, but I just played the same. I mean, that's what I was good at, so I don't know, stayed with that.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to be flute when I first came. Like I had band camp right before sixth grade, and I was like, when you try out all the different instruments or whatever. And I actually really wanted to be flute. I wanted to do flute for like forever. Either that or like violin or harp. I don't know. And then I was like, obviously those aren't band instruments. That's orchestra. But oh well. But anyway, so I was like, oh, that'll be flute, and like, because I thought flute was like the prettiest instrument. And then as I was learning it for band camp, I was like, this takes like so much air, and I just don't think it's an instrument for me. Like, I don't know, I was having trouble with it. But in the process of like choosing which instrument I should go for, whatever, I remember one of the band directors who's in charge of the band camp was saying, you have a really great, mouth and like embouchure and everything for a clarinet. And he was like, you sure you don't want to do that? And I was like, no, I want to be flute for like forever. And he was like, okay. But then after the band camp, like when I actually started sixth grade, I told my band director, who was also at the band camp too, I told him, I was like, yeah, so I was flute, but I feel like I probably should be clarinet because that's what he suggested, and I'm just having trouble with flute. And he was like, okay. And so I started from there, and at first I had a lot of trouble, like, getting second octave, because, it's obviously a basic thing you have to do, and, like, I was just having trouble taking longer than other people to learn it. And then my mom got a private teacher, actually, because my sister played clarinet too, because she was in band for a couple years. And the private teacher she had was the one I ended up having pretty much the whole time I was in band, like 5 years. And he's really good. He was been playing for like 40 years or something, so he knows what he's doing. And so he helped me learn my scales and everything like really fast. Like I remember one of the first couple of lessons, he was like, "Okay, so you have to know these like 4 scales by the next lesson, which is like in 1 week." And I'm like, "What? What?" But it made me learn them fast, and then like I was already like comfortable with them in no time at all. Yeah, so he like helped me, and I went on from there, and it was great, and a lot of good times, met a lot of great people, and had a lot of fun in band. Hmm.
And you also mentioned that you decided to go to the University of Florida, and I know you said your sister also went here as well, so that's probably one of the factors that drove you. But what else drove you to choose the University of Florida over the many other universities in the state of Florida and the country as well?
Well, I don't know. I wanted to. I mean, I was thinking about going to UCF or FSU as well, but since I'm from Orlando, like UCF is kind of close, and I wanted to not stay that close to home. I wanted to get a chance to get away, because that's what college is all about, I feel like. And FSU was a little bit far, and like, I mean, yeah, so I just decided that like, UF was like perfect because it was like not as far as FSU, but not as close as UCF, and it was like a really, really great school, you know, arguably best school in the state, and then I knew that like my sister had a great experience here, and so I thought that's great, and it was in state, so you could use Bright Futures and stuff like that, so it just worked out really well, and I just felt like it was the place for me. So it's such a big school and has such a diverse group of people, like students. Like there's like a club for like everything on campus or whatever, and like pretty much, I don't know. I just really like it because I know some people like get kind of overwhelmed with big campuses, but I thought it was fine, and I like the diversity, and like I really like the campus. I think the campus is really pretty. So I'm really happy here, and I'm really glad I chose to come here.
And we're glad you chose to come here as well.
Yeah.
So now that you chose to come to UF and you're here, what have you decided to choose as your major, and what do you hope to do with that?
Originally I was a history major, and not until like month ago, I decided to change to anthropology because I really like history, and like that's definitely like the branch I'm like looking at, but more cultural. But history is a lot of reading and writing, and I felt like a lot of it was mostly because I like to learn about history, not necessarily like regurgitate and argue about it, like discuss it. And so that's what I think history really is about, and at least like the major and like I guess the work for it or whatever to get the major. And so I thought maybe anthropology was more my calling, and so that's why I switched. And so far, it's been going really well, and I like it so a lot better. So that's good. Um, and I'm not really sure. I was thinking about maybe doing archaeology, because I think that'd be really fun, and really cool. But again, like because I just switched to anthropology, I'm still doing the intro anthropology classes, and like this is only like a sneak peek so far. Uh, of the different branches because there's like four main subfields of anthropology. It's like linguistics, cultural anthropology, biological anthropology, and archaeology. And so I've only taken like a couple classes for some of those, and like I'm taking the others next semester. So I haven't gotten like a firm grasp of like the other subfields yet. But so far I'm leaning towards like cultural anthropology or archaeology, and maybe an archaeologist someday. I haven't really figured it out. I mean, I figure I probably have to go to grad school at some point too, but I haven't really thought that far ahead.
But now that you're here and you've chosen your major and everything in that nature, and you're also involved in the Gator Wesley Foundation, can you explain a little bit of about what that is, and also what you do and how you got involved when you got started?
Well, I got involved last fall, my freshman year at Gator Wesley. At first I came and I was like, well, I don't know, but like my sister was on staff here and super active when she was here, and I was like, well, I know that she had a really great experience and met a lot of great people and everything, but I was like, I mean, I'll give it a try, but I don't know if it'll necessarily be for me, like teach his own. But I thought I'd try, and also I was raised Methodist back home, so took a leap of faith, went ahead and showed up, and people were immediately really welcoming and really friendly, and I felt like no time at all I was already like part of the group or whatever, and so I just kind of kept coming back, and I've had a lot of great experiences, met a lot of great people, had a lot of great times that I decided to be on staff, and so now I'm on upper room staff this year, and really enjoying it. We have a lot of fun times in the back. But at the same time, like it is like a really great experience because when I started this past fall, I was actually on worship team, and that was really great because I never really been in that kind of position where I wrote the prayers that were said aloud in worship, or like set up a whole prayer station or something like that. Like I never had to do that before, so that was a really interesting experience, and I'm really glad I learned it. And so I really like worship team, and then being upper room is really nice because then you get the experience of like shifts and like working as a team and like as a community, and still being active because you agree to certain responsibilities, but at the same time still enjoying like Gator Wesley as a whole, and it's been a really great experience so far.
Well, we're getting to the end of our show today, and I want to thank you for coming on the show again.
Well, thank you for having me.
And with the last few moments, is there anything that people should know about you, they should already know about you, that you would like people to know?
Well, I think some people know that I'm a big movie buff, but like, I mean, I'm a really big movie buff. I think people don't realize how much to the extent, because people are like, oh, you like Disney and stuff. But in all seriousness, like, I legit have a like list of movies that I want to see and like that kind of thing. I actually thought about maybe going like something with film or whatever as my major, but I think I'd rather just take classes to learn about it. But yeah, like I'm always up for watching a new movie and learning all about it and like who acted in it and who's been in other movies and like if you recognize that actor and like learning all sorts of like fun facts and things, like I don't know. So that's just my thing, is being a movie buff.
Alright, and again, we want to thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
No problem. And this has been the Gator Wesley Bios, produced by James Jordan and produced on location at the Gator Wesley Foundation, which is a campus ministry of the United Methodist Church that services the University of Florida and the Santa Fe Coast. Tune in next time when we have more stories, more people, and more Gator Wesley Bios. Thank you, and good day.